tonight we're going to be talking about persuasion, hitting a grand slam, effectively using persuasion in your sales message. Learn the skills to simply get others to agree with your opinions and come over to your side. Basically, get what you want and when you want it. One of the things you need to understand, it's not about creating hypey sales copy. You need to create hype-free messages. Hype does not sell. To a certain degree, you're going to be using hype, but it's not all about just creating this sales copy that is just so full of hype that it just drives people absolutely nuts and becomes totally unbelievable. That does not sell. Your reader can see right through anything you write that comes across or even smells like plain old hype. Think about the sales copy that you've read and you're going to understand this. You can sense when it's nothing but hype. You can sense when it's something that is just really too good to be true and probably isn't true anyways. So can your readers. They can see right through your hype. Most people still use this approach because they see everyone else doing it and figure that it must be working for them, so it will work for me. That's not the case. For a lot of these people that are using it, it is not working. They may be making a lot of sales, but if they would actually do it properly, they would be able to make a whole lot more sales if they would just leave out some of the hype and begin to start creating hype-free messages and just concentrate on using the persuasion techniques that we're going to be talking about. They just began to sound like and act like a little kid running around mimicking everything they hear and seeing someone else doing. They see everybody else doing this kind of work with their sales copy, so, well, I'm supposed to copy what the successful people are doing, and we see them making a lot of sales. We figure they must be successful. People are recommending them. So, and we've had these trainings where we've said, just go out and, watch what everybody else is doing and copy success. So we ended up doing the same exact thing, using those things. And a lot of it comes from using swipe copy from other ones that were very hypey, taking that copy, not doing a lot of changes, and we end up with the same thing. Stop focusing on hype and start focusing on persuasion. The human thought process. By understanding the workings of the human thought process, it is incredibly easy to make people think or feel a certain way, which is the true key of a powerful sales copy. We need to start understanding the workings of the human thought process because when we do, you're going to find that it starts to become easier to start getting people persuaded over to doing the things that we want them to be able to do. We all make purchases from emotion, and then we justify them with logic. A good sales letter moves the reader from emotion to desire to action. And if you want proof of this, think about the purchase that you've made lately, particularly those in response to a sales letter you've read. If you really want to, for the proof that this really is how to do it, just really take a good look at why you bought. Maybe go back to those sales copies that you bought from and purchased from and figure out where it was that you actually felt compelled to start buying. A good sales letter is going to move you, the reader, from emotion to the desire to take action. And that action is to click on that link to buy or to sign up to your squeeze page and get on your list. Personal emotion motivators. Motivators that persuade people to make a decision or take a specific action. So we're going to take a look at some personal and emotional motivators that are going to help you persuade the people that are reading your sales copy to make a decision or take specific actions that you're asking them to take. The first one is comfort and security. Feel comfortable, secure, and in control. That's what people that are reading want to feel like. You yourself, you want to feel comfortable. You want to feel secure. You want to feel in control. You want to just relax. Feel secure in the knowledge that everything is under your control and will be taken care of at a moment's notice. Perfect health. This one just goes without saying. We all love to be fit. We're all not fit, but we love to be fit. We love to be healthy. We love to look good and feel great when other people are seeing us. We like to be able to, know that, that when what they are looking at they're seeing as pleasing to them as well. Peace of mind. Experience the peace of mind even if it is for a short period. There's so much going on these days that most of us are running around like a bunch of chickens with our heads cut off. And when we start experiencing this, we basically end up stressing over things. We suffer from anxiety attacks. We start suffering from the fear of what tomorrow may bring us. If we are, just, given the slightest opportunity to experience peace of mind, even if it's just for a very short period of time, we are ready to jump on the bandwagon and ride it all the way to the finish line. So if you can start projecting in your sales copy that you are going to be able to give this person a peace of mind by taking the action that you're asking them to take, you're going to do very good in persuading them to buy. Hope for a greater future. Tomorrow will be be better than today. We all are hoping that tomorrow, even if we had a wonderful day, we go to bed at night or wake up in the morning hoping that new day is even going to be better than the one. We don't want it to be worse. We want it to be better, at least the same. But we hope that tomorrow's going to be better. We hope that next week is going to be improvement over last week. I certainly have had one of those weeks where I am hoping that at least tomorrow's going to be better, but next week I'm hoping I'm able to get a lot more done, that I'm able to accomplish a whole lot more. I'm hoping that next year, all of the things that I've been, striving for, all those things that I've been hoping and dreaming for will start to come to light. There's many things that, as I continue to grow my business that, I set for new goals, and I want to see those things start coming to light in the next year for the goals that I've set for this coming year. And so do your readers. They want you to be able to inject a hope for a greater future for them. Financial success. People want to be rich. But this is really, this is kind of a hard one for people, that even though they want to be rich, most people really do not see themselves as even believing that it's possible for them to even do. So don't try to persuade somebody by the promise of riches, because that is not going to be something that is going to work. They're not going to take that action with you trying to persuade them by the promises of riches. You need to be able to do it a little bit differently. You need to persuade them by the promise of financial security in their life and comfort from the security. This is the angle that an effective persuader must take. It's not telling them, I'm giving you the promise of riches, because a lot of people are not going to believe it because they do not see themselves. They do not have that belief system to really believe that it's possible for them to do. Achievement. Can and will obtain their most cherished goals and objective. Most people will be persuaded once you have done your job and keeping them from, when you do their job from clearing the obstacles that are currently keeping them from their progress that they're trying to get and the challenges that they're facing and stuff. Once you can do this, if you can show them that they're going to overcome the obstacles and able to have some achievement through the success that you're going to be delivering in your product and stuff, this is going to do some really awesome things in their mind and help them to understand that they're able to achieve these things, and the persuasion is going to follow. Personal power, being in control of events and circumstances. People love to be in control. We have loved to be in control from the very beginning of time. Going back to that thought of our children when they're 2 years old, they love to start being in control of their life. You need to show people that they're going to be able to have personal power, that they're going to be able to finally have that control over the events and their circumstances in their life, that the events and circumstances are no longer going to be controlling them. High self-esteem, having confidence in themselves. Absolute freedom, have control to do what we want, when we want, and for however long we want to do it. We all love to have that feeling that we're going to have absolute freedom. You know, we want to basically be the captain of our own ship, making all of our own decisions and taking the actions that are going to support those values that we have and those goals and those objections. So, you know, portray to your reader that feeling of absolute freedom in your sales copy. Emotional security, remain sane when everything else is spinning out of control. This is something that, you know, is really important to people, is that no matter what happens, that their emotions are going to remain intact. A lot of people fear that when everything else is going out of control, that they're going to lose that emotional control as well. And if you can show them that the path that they're taking right now is going to basically take